Good morning. You're listening to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Jonathan Cohen, the CEO of Stanton Carpet. Jonathan, how you doing?
Great. Good morning, Kemp. Thanks for having me on today.
I want to talk to you just kind of about business and what you've been going through and what your outlook is for business, what's selling. Before we get to that, just a little background. Stanton's been around since 1980. Your father, Si, started the business and been in the family the whole time. You do have a little help from a private equity firm, Quad C, which owns you guys and also owns Gallagher, a distributor on the West Coast, right?
That's correct.
Tell us how business is doing.
So business is pretty good. 2021 is off to a pretty strong start, and it's really a continuation of what we saw really September through December of 2020 when business started picking up significantly in those months. Yeah, it's been 6 straight months of pretty strong business, and glad to have the rebounds, on the heels of the pandemic.
Yeah. A little bit more on Stanton. You're up there in the Long Island area with your headquarters, and you also have a pretty big operation in Calhoun, Georgia. And the products that you sell, you design and are produced by contract manufacturers all over the world, right?
Yes. At Stanton, we spend a lot of time and resources and effort. We have a pretty good-sized team that are focusing heavily on design and development and coloration. So we really own the whole design process, if you will. And then we have manufacturing partners at different places all over the planet that help us actually produce the goods, and we import them directly into our facility in Georgia, as you mentioned.
Yeah. For 14 years in a row, I went to Domatex, Germany, and I always ran into you there and actually saw your dad was still there last year, so he's still active in the business. And you have Stanton brand, Antrim, Rosecore, Crescent, and Hibernia, and each one of those has kind of their own promise. And it's, as far as price points, I mean, it's all the way from polypropylene all the way up to wool, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So across those brands that you mentioned, we sell a lot of different constructions of product from, hand loom to multiple types of woven, to flat woven, to Wilton woven, to face-to-face woven, machine tufted wool, printed carpets. We have carpet tile in our Stanton Street. And about a year ago, we launched our DWF product line, which is decorative waterproof flooring, our luxury vinyl plank offering. So that's been off to a really good start as well for us. Each brand has its own sort of brand aesthetic and its own price points. When you look at the whole thing as a whole, it's ranging from, let's say, the mid-teens in price points, all the way up to over $100 a square yard wholesale. So we have the gamut of different looks and aesthetics depending on the brand.
Last year we polled dealers across the country, and we had, I think, close to 780 dealers that came back to us with responses, and they picked their favorites in rugs, and you guys came in second in service, third in quality, and second in design, so you performed really well there. I guess there's a lot of dealers out there that know who Stanton is, and you're kind of their upper-end go-to company, right?
Yeah, we pride ourselves on taking care of our customers and continually offering new products, services. We have a great sales team out in the market. We have a great internal support team that services our customers. We take care of our folks when they run into issues. So we have a good reputation in the market, and we're constantly trying to build upon that. We never take anything for granted, and this year is good proof of that. We're happy for that.
When it comes to what the consumer's buying today, especially with COVID and people staying at home more, what trends are you seeing in the area rug business?
COVID's been crazy for everybody. Clearly, home furnishings in general has benefited from that, with people staying home, and companies like ours and many others benefiting from those disposable dollars that are not being spent on travel and other things. But consumers, they're redoing everything. They're redoing carpet, they're getting new area rugs, they're moving, clearly. Existing and new home sales are the best they've been since 2006. And they're doing a little bit of everything, whether it's hard surface or rugs or carpet or runners. We're seeing everything happen. It's been pretty strong activity. The trend, of course, that we've been seeing for many years with rugs, particularly fabricated rugs, we're Stanton's particularly adept at that. We do all that in-house in our facility in Calhoun. We'll fabricate area rugs out of wall-to-wall, out of any of our products, up to the full width of the carpet and virtually any length, with a lot of different finishing options. But that's been a great service that we provide to our customers and ultimately to the consumers. We're seeing that trend continue, although I will say we are seeing pretty good wall-to-wall sales as well. Mm-hmm. So if anybody thinks wall-to-wall has gone away, it hasn't.
Yeah. It's actually come back, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think what's happening, and you guys have been reporting on it for a long time, is that it's just gotten more decorative. You know, companies like Stanton and the brands that we sell it's just been more prolific for us because people are becoming more conscious of the decorative element that carpet can provide. That's where we fit in.
Let me encourage our listener to go to StantonCarpet.com because you've got some gorgeous products there. Also, let me tell you, I visited your Calhoun plant, and you've got this huge air table. You know, I first got there, I thought everybody was going to play some table hockey on it. It's got this huge, I mean, you can roll out and push air out so that you can easily move it and then suck air in and lock it down, and then you can convert that to whatever size, and you can add all these different types of backings. You know, your conversion down there in Calhoun is pretty nice, and so you can give the consumer kind of what they're looking for, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything you just said. I mean, we dedicate more than 25,000 square feet just to area rug fabrication. We have multiple tables. They're quite large, so we could do multiple rugs at one time, multiple large rugs at any given time, and offer the different backings, you know, non-skid, indoor, outdoor, and a felt backing. And that's also a nice added bonus, too, rather than having a separate pad.
Yeah. And your channels to market, you primarily service independent retail, or how else do you go to market?
We do. We primarily serve independent retail, you know, brick and mortar.
Yeah.
That's been a great channel for us. We've been dedicated to that channel. That channel's been good to us in return. Yeah, and we do everything we can to support that channel, absolutely.
I'm glad you mentioned brick and mortar because in the area rug business, you know, a lot of it's gone online. I was just recently up not far from you, up in New Jersey, and some people said that they'd kind of pulled back on their rug business because people were showrooming and then getting it online. So that's a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, with the really inexpensively priced, ready-made, machine-made area rugs, I mean, I think that's been a trend for quite a long time. That accelerated probably during the pandemic. That's gone online. But, you know, customers still clearly go to brick and mortar and the more decorative showrooms, you know, to get these fabricated rugs, to get something a little bit more special, custom sized. So it's good to see that as well.
You can't see texture on a screen. I mean, texture is something that you're selling, and you have to feel it to believe it. So one last thing, outlook for the future. You think this surge in demand is going to continue throughout this year?
Yeah, we do. We think 2021 it'll continue throughout the entire year and probably into 2022. Maybe not to the same extent that it is in 2021, but we think the ripple effects, you know, from the pandemic and home sales and ultimately home furnishings is going to stick around for quite a while.
All right, Jonathan, great to catch up with you. You've been talking to Jonathan Cohen, the CEO of Stanton Carpet, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.